Hey, music lovers, welcome to Musical Miles Podcast. I'm your host, Byron Duffin, and I am here with Donella.
Hello.
Last name again?
McGiff.
McGiff,
Yep.
part of the Honeydews. So we're here at the South Fork Fest, which is a little music festival, an arts festival here on the banks of the South Fork River.
Yes, sir.
At High C. What a beautiful place.
Oh, the backdrop couldn't be prettier.
This is so incredible. The whole facility is amazing, and they're organized well, and there's just a lot of cool stuff going on here.
Yeah.
A lot of cool stuff.
It's fun to see a little bit of culture and some friendliness and people like-minded all joining forces and doing something special.
Yeah. So Coulter Wilson is the one who reached out to me and asked us to come and be involved. And we were actually supposed to be in Helix, Oregon the same weekend. And, I thought, this is in my backyard. Let's go here. And I'm so glad we did. And nothing against the Wheat Fest in Helix, but also a friend of mine's running that one. And I feel a little bit bad because he's invited us for a couple of years. We haven't made it. But this is so convenient and so beautiful. And so, and the other funny thing is that as we get to meet everybody, we got to visit with you yesterday, and we have a long-standing connection.
No doubt, a connection that I wasn't aware of either.
Right. And then we met your sister last night, who even ties it in even tighter because she's dating a very good friend of mine, John.
Oh, stop!
Oh,
John's incredible. We love John.
John Coyle and I roped together, and I used to sell him ropes. I was in the rope business,
he's a very talented guy.
I've known him for years, and he's just such a great guy and a I don't know why, but appears to be a fan of mine. He said, Byron, I've watched you for 30 years, and no matter what you do, you always do it good, do it well. And I appreciate that about John. And you don't always get those compliments.
I think John likes to do things very well.
He's very, very, don't know how to put that.
Competitive, but in a completely sportsmanlike kind way.
Won a lot of money. I watched John get better and better with his roping skills for years, and got to where he roped so good that they wouldn't let him rope.
Nobody wanted to go against him.
Yeah. So, but anyway, but our connection, your connection, and your sister's connection is with my actually older sister, Shauna, and your mother, Donella, is her name as well. And so I saw you on the bill here, and I thought, there's no way. But as soon as Miss Shanda saw you, she goes, "Oh yeah, that's exactly who that is." Yeah,
it's funny because Donella is not just a name that anybody has either.
Well, and not very many girls get named after their mother. Maybe their grandmother. There's not too many Donella Juniors, right?
No, there are not.
But we remember you because you went to school in the same town we live in Shelley, and with our daughter Callie.
Yes.
And so, but back in those days, they called you Donnie.
Yep.
So, but anyway, so you and your husband Bryan are in a play as a duet.
Yeah.
And the Honeydews.
Yeah, Bryan came up with that name. I thought it was pretty fitting, husband and wife little duo. He plays some kind of, you'll get to hear some of his originals. We're playing 3 originals tonight. He does kind of an outlaw country kind of thing. His songwriting is really on point. He does a really good job. And harmony is, you can tell that I have a lower range voice.
Okay.
Harmony is what I do and good at because I was never able to sing songs the way they were intended to be sung because of my range. So harmony is second nature for me. So I guess if I play an instrument, it'd probably be harmony.
Yeah. Okay. The harmony.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we love good harmonies. We've been blessed to listen to some good harmonies since doing the podcast. And obviously we've been exposed to some extremely talented artists. And so, but we love this. This is a little low key. Most of these bands and performers are local, fairly local, right? I think the headliner tonight is Sean Hess, and he's from Laramie, Wyoming.
Yeah, I think there was the headliner last night and then the headliner tonight. Everyone else is local.
Local, which I love. I love to know that there's, and where we're local and we're really a music podcast, we need to know all of you and know what's going on, because we just, we have traveled tens of thousands of miles for live music, because there's no replacing a live music experience.
No, not at all. And it's hard because there really hasn't been anything like this around Idaho Falls. They've got the Shady Grove over in Pocatello, but Idaho Falls area and surrounding areas has really needed something like this. So,
well, as we get more involved locally, we're finding out more and more. But one thing that we've got more exposed to in the last year through the podcast is, is songwriter festivals. And we love songwriter festivals. It's just a whole different experience than a concert.
of course.
Or even this, right? This would be a festival, a concert of sorts. You've got several artists playing a set with multiple songs, and you do have a tendency to tell a little bit of the backstory, but we love the backstory, right? We want to know.
Well, what's a singer-songwriter or songwriter in general without a little backstory, right?
Well, yeah, because that's what makes the story, right? You're a storyteller. You tell stories to music, but there's a reason why the song was written, and especially if you're the original writer, right?
Of course.
You know, and so I love that, and so we are really working on putting together a songwriter festival for Idaho Falls. Musical
Very
Mouse
cool.
podcast
Very
is.
cool.
So, but I can't do it alone, and so it takes a community, and there's absolutely no money in it. It's all about the art, and it's about the songwriting, right? And we believe that there's really 4 components to a successful song, if you will. One is the song, two is the artist to sing the song, right? 3 is the venue to perform it at, and 4 is the fan. So if you're missing one of those components, you really don't have the full equation.
Yeah, definitely.
And so, but the song it all begins with the song. And so, and once again, we listen to the radio. We've listened to the radio our whole lives. We've listened to vinyl, but there's no replacing the live music experience.
Absolutely not. The connection and, like you said, you have to have every piece to have the full experience. And
Sure.
even if writing your own song, you get to relay the message how you view it. But what's so cool about songwriting, and I found out for myself too, is through writing songs that conveying the message, but having the emotional attachment to it is sometimes, that's where the magic comes from, is the emotional attachment that you can draw from someone else's song or from your own,
Oh, without a doubt.
The perspective is huge.
Well, the experience, and we've all experienced, because music touches each of us differently.
Yeah.
And a song may touch you different than me, even at the same moment, right, as we listen to it and experience it. But we draw from our past. And even from the present, what are you feeling at that moment?
Yeah.
And one of my favorites that we've heard, Jelly Roll said, music meets us where we are. And I love that.
That's a beautiful quote, actually. And he couldn't have said, what's wonderful about that man is that he's a really stand-up human being.
Oh, truly.
He fights for people. You can hear that in his music for sure.
Yeah. We've not met him, but we've interviewed some people who have worked with him and experienced that firsthand, to go to the local juvenile detention center there in Nashville and build them. He built recording studios in the jails for those kids.
What a good man, putting his money where his mouth is, kind of a guy.
Yeah. He lived it, and he wants to see those kids get better.
Like share it with other people.
He wants to share his luck and blessing with others. So, which is cool. So, Donella, what really inspired you musically?
I grew up listening to like 50s, 60s rock and roll. So if I had to pinpoint like a favorite era for me musically, it would probably be the late 50s and early 60s.
Really?
Yeah. I love bubblegum pop from that era.
You're a little bit of a old soul from the 50s.
Yeah. Give me the Shirelles and the Shondells and Dion. I
that's
really love
cool
that.
Because that's not a lot. I ask that question a lot, and that's not a real regular answer, right? Most people, they reach down, especially if they're country, they reach to, Johnny Cash or Merle Haggard or, the old school. But to reach into the back into the, and I love that era as well. Yeah, there's some great music that came out of that time.
I like the era of that music. Even a sad song, they're uplifting in a way, like they make you want to move.
Sure.
I like moving with music, so
sure.
It kind of makes me happy that way. But so my dad was hugely inspirational that way, that era of music. I had a brother that loved, the 70s, 80s, 90s, even into like metal. I'm a huge metal head.
Oh yeah?
Which is...
So who do you really, if you jumped in the car and headed down the road for a road trip, who's on the top of the playlist?
My metal list?
Your metal list.
Probably Megadeth, Motorhead, Yeah, Slayer.
Okay.
I really like the heavy early metal.
Okay.
Yeah.
That screamo stuff a little bit.
I mean, not quite screamo.
Screamo,
You know,
but there's some. Our oldest son, Cash, he was into the screamo stuff.
hey, a little bit of taste for everybody. Yeah, probably as hard as I go is like Slayer. And I realize that that's like hard, but I really love the early thrash stuff. So Motorhead, Metallica, Megadeth.
Well, we have a very eclectic taste in music, and I love Metallica as well. Yeah. But one of my favorite, and actually Cash is the one who kind of got me into Metallica, because I'm a 70s kid, you know, so CCR and, you know, the Eagles and America and
you can't go wrong with that era of music.
That music is classic. They call it classic for a reason, because it truly is. But when you think back, you know, I think back on some of the early metal, and I mean, it is heavy metal to me. But Metallica was, you know,
I mean, Sabbath paved the way. We just recently lost Ozzy.
And I loved Ozzy. Not all of Sabbath. Some of that was a little dark for me, but I did, you know, a lot of Ozzy's solo stuff was more my vibe, maybe.
Which is so funny, because we think of Sabbath, Black Sabbath, as like this. They talk about a lot of human issues. They talk a lot about poverty. They talk about things that we can all kind of relate to in a way, as far as like the world going on, right? But for a Christian band, all of those band members are very Christian. They sure talk about some evil stuff,
right? Yeah, I mean, and probably the darkest stuff. I used to listen to Alice Cooper a lot growing up, and you know, and Alice has got some dark stuff, you know. But back to Metallica. My favorite Metallica is Metallica S&M, the Symphony in Metallica. I don't know. That's a beautiful album.
You cannot go wrong adding something so classical to something. It's like having, you know, an alto voice and a baritone voice together. They just seem to meet in the middle somewhere that is such a beautiful space. So I think that the S&M, that was a smart move on everyone's part.
Huge. I mean, you know, some of those songs, Enter Sandman, and
they're stunning. I mean, the ballads that they chose for that album were incredible.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. So, you are, I know, a big music fan, because even your children are named after some incredibly talented artists. So you have a Graham named after Graham Parsons.
Yeah, well, Parson.
Oh, Parsons. Excuse me. I screwed that up. But
it was funny because Bryan and I were struggling trying to come up with a girl name that we both felt confident with. He wanted Gibson. I just didn't really want that. And I remember we'd just gotten Grievous Angel on vinyl, and, you know, I dropped the needle down and I looked at him and I was like, what about Parson?
Yeah.
And he was like, done.
Great.
That's the name. So it really was like right in the moment. We knew we wanted it musically inspired. We got a little Parson.
And then you have a little boy named Towns.
Yeah.
Towns Van Zandt.
Yeah.
One of the greatest, right?
Well, truly, in my opinion, and my husband's, two of the greatest songwriters of all time, in my opinion.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. And you know, I don't think Towns ever got the credit.
No, and you know what? It's starting to like revise. You know, you put out some good documentaries or whatever, and then all of a sudden people are like, wow, this. But unfortunately, there's so many artists. You know, Graham was a lot the same way. He like helped the Rolling Stones with music. Like he was so influential on so many levels to so many different artists.
Sure.
So yeah, they don't get the credit until they die.
what a tragic story, and what a crazy story.
Yeah, no doubt. I named my kids after two very troubled people, two people with massive
hearts and talent that never ever really saw the light that it should have. But yeah, Graham's story, I mean, they stole his body from the mortuary.
Oh gosh, it doesn't get more badass than that.
How crazy
your
is that?
best buddies rent a hearse, get all dressed up in rented suits, and steal your body
and haul it to the desert and set it on fire, of all things. And I think it cost them $600 in fines.
Yeah, and a little bit of jail time.
It was a misdemeanor. It wasn't even a felony.
Which seems wild. I mean, different times, right?
Different times, But the crazy things, and I just heard this story. One of the guys, and I think his name is Humps. Isn't he the one that actually was involved in that stole it? And he's still involved, like with a lot of the like the Braun brothers and the reunion over there. Last weekend, somebody was telling me that story. Jen Pisano. Do you know Jen?
Yeah.
Johnny Shue's daughter.
Yeah, gosh, we love. Okay, so Johnny, we won't get sidetracked too much, but my husband and him really love each other. Yeah, Johnny's a really good dude. Anytime they come to town, Tyler and the boys, we would try to house them or whatever. But it's fun that he and his daughter are kind of doing their own thing.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
really
Well,
sweet.
that unfortunately, Jen and Tyler are no more.
No, I mean,
but it
ebb
is
and
what
flow
life,
to
life
everything.
goes on, right? But such a sweet girl. We were supposed to interview her in Chalice this past weekend, and we had an interview scheduled with another artist, and he took an hour and a half to get to us, and I'm mad that we didn't just go ahead and do Jen. I'm like, Jen. But I knew as soon as I started that one, here Dale Watson's going to show up, and Dale said we were interviewing next, and I'm like, I didn't want to make anybody mad, but Jen, we're going to get over to Boise. There's a lot of great artists in that Boise Valley. There's a ton of artists here.
Yeah,
and you guys live in Idaho Falls, or do you live in Pocatello?
No, we live here in Idaho Falls. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, it's a good place to be. When Bryan asked me to marry him, I gave him a couple conditions, and one of those was, please don't ever ask me to leave Idaho unless it's Montana, because I really just don't have a desire to be anywhere else. I'm local grown, and I love to go visit other places, but I am definitely an Idaho girl.
Well, I drug Miss Shanda here from Arizona, and but she loves Idaho too.
Yeah.
The only reason she came back here was because this is a great place to raise our kids. And,
of course.
And so, but, I love that we ran into you and was excited to see you on the bill. And you said your mom's going to be here today? Yeah,
my mom, my sisters. And I don't know if we kind of touched on whether or not my husband and I are writing an album right now.
Oh, cool.
The producer is actually the one that's doing the art show over there.
Okay.
He's a really great local guy.
And he has the studio, or you have a studio?
We have a small home studio.
Okay.
Yep. We've actually, a couple of the bands that Madrona, we put out their last album. It was mixed and mastered somewhere else, but all the scratch recording happens at our home.
Oh, cool.
So it's a fun little thing, but it will be called Donella and the Hungry Souls. So it's kind of a neo soul.
Cool.
It draws from a lot of my 50s, 60s pop.
There you go. So when's that going to be released?
There's really not a set date, and it's because we all have families. We're all raising children. Summertime has put a definite damper on it.
Yeah.
But hopefully next year sometime. I hope by South Fork Fest next year we're promoting the album. So
perfect. So quick question regarding that. Do you have some other albums out, or is this going to be the first?
This is a first for me. I'm writing the songs. I've never written songs before, so this is new for me. But I think sometimes the listener, we don't give ourselves enough credit as a listener. Like, there is a part to play in all aspects of music, and the listener is really, really important, actually.
Oh, huge.
So for some reason, I'm feeling pretty confident about this.
Good.
The 3 songs that we have finished are feeling
Now,
really
are these the songs you're going to play tonight on your set?
We're going to play 2 of those songs at the end of the set.
Okay.
So we're doing an acoustic set, and then the last 3 songs, he'll pull out his electric guitar, and we'll kind of do an acoustic electric set.
There you go. Okay.
I guess so. You'll hear a couple of the upcoming albums too.
Fun.
Yeah.
Well, it's so cool to get to meet you and
to make all the connections. How fun.
The connections, and now you have to be our friend.
That's the truth.
So you're required by law, I think. So
hey, as long as we pinky
swear.
Pinky swear.
Awesome.
Right,
well, please follow us. But do you have anything on Spotify right now?
No, I don't. There's a couple out on YouTube from South Fork Festivals last year.
Okay.
Yeah, but
well, that's the cool thing about South Fork too, is that our listeners need to understand they spend a lot of money and time and energy in building
it's
a video.
Massive.
A video. It's kind of like a video calling card for each artist here.
Yeah, and you really can't put money, like a price on that.
Right.
What they're giving these artists, and these artists are doing this out of the goodness of their heart. They're coming, this is the South Forks Art Foundation.
Sure.
And so this is being a nonprofit.
Yes.
It goes such a long way to be able to help everybody out. Everybody has a piece of the pie.
Yeah.
We're all helping each other. You can't put a price on getting a fully edited, mixed
video.
They each get a video or 2. That's incredible.
How cool is that? That's what Coulter was telling me about it. And when he kind of laid this out, but I still couldn't envision this without showing up here last night and to see. In fact, our oldest and his wife and kids, we sent him a message this morning and said, "Hey, you guys need to come. This is so family friendly."
Oh, the family aspect of this is probably one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
It is really hard to get people out and about. Make the the kids free and everybody's coming. This is gonna be fun today.
And they have stuff for the kids. I mean, besides the music, and they even have a little music clinic, I think, don't they, today?
They've got a music clinic. They're also going to teach kids and anyone that wants to learn how to completely gut and take care of a fish the correct way, how to cook it correctly.
And they're going to teach them how to catch them too, because they have a fly fishing clinic. And there's a talent show. And
the kids' talent show too.
Kids' talent show. And there's open mic for anybody brave enough to stand up there and
maybe we'll get you up there.
I seriously got it. I'm working on it for next year. I promised the guys at the BBR, we stay at Camp Run Amok and they have a fire every night and they get around and play. And I said, listen, I promise. They shamed me into coming this year. and I sat over here a little bit ago and played for a minute with these guys, which was cool because they, I don't know why I'm so nervous because everybody's so gracious. They say, "Oh, that's great."
Well, everybody's been at the beginning once, right?
Sure. We all have to start somewhere.
Oh, yeah. And I think the try and the I'm going to get better at this, it goes a long way for a talented musician.
Yeah.
All they want to know is that you have a love for the music and you're going to keep getting better.
Well, I whether I get any better, I play every day. So
that's the only way to get better.
That's the only way to get better. So, but Donella, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And we look forward to your show tonight. And tell Bryan he missed out on an easy peasy interview.
I know.
It doesn't get any easier.
He would have sat right here and said 5 words. So it's
smiled.
Okay.
But he could have played the guitar for us. And
that's the truth. He's a very wonderful guitar player, and you're going to get a kick out of his originals. They're really beautiful songs.
Looking forward to it. Donella, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right. Hey, for Musical Miles Podcast, I'm your host, Byron Duffin, here with Donella. Tell me your last name again.
McGiff.
McGiff. It would be easier if it was McGruff. Right?
I know.
But hey, thank you. And we will see you somewhere down the road. Adios for now.